And again, just waiting here for the polling of this second heat of the boys' third varsity 8 to begin. That first heat was crazy. Nail biter. The polling has begun here for this second heat. We'll see if it's as exciting as that first heat was. But you got 6 fast boats. A lot of course to make some stuff happen. We'll see what happens. They're off. A very, very tight margin here off the jump. Hard to tell. We'll wait for the camera angle to show us the truth. And we'll see how these seedings hold up here. And again, lane 1 is on your far side. Oh my goodness, you have Deerfield, Brunswick, BC High, and Kent just in a deadlock with Duxbury. Looks like Duxbury might have a seat on those 4 crews in the lead. What a start for Duxbury. Good jump. These crews are going to start to lengthen out, hit their base pace, and we'll see what happens. But lanes 1 through 4 deadlocked with Duxbury over in lane 6, just pushing out a couple seats here. Brunswick starting to get a little bit ahead of Deerfield, BC High, and Kent. I'm sure that's going to change. Not because Brunswick isn't fast, but all these boats, they're going to have different moves at different times. This lead is going to change more than once if I had to guess. But it is Duxbury still out there in front with Brunswick. And you have Deerfield now starting to get into their rhythm, starting to push ahead a little bit. But right now, it looks like it's Deerfield just a little bit ahead of Brunswick, who is basically tied with BC High. And then right back, you have Kent and Duxbury, with Hingham falling back just a little bit. But it's Deerfield as we cross into this middle 500, followed very closely by Duxbury in lane 6. What a great race here for Duxbury. What a start, holding down this second place spot as they get into that middle 500. That blue boat moving well through the water, but it's them and Deerfield. You have Brunswick, BC High, and Kent duking it out for that last qualifying spot. Again, it is top 3 to qualify here. We'll see how this plays out. What a race. Duxbury. Oh, that is going to send the folks down on the beach into a frenzy. It's Duxbury and Deerfield right now. And you have, it looks like BC High, just a little bit of a lead over Kent and Brunswick, but it is Deerfield and Duxbury. Unrelenting. That leaves it up to Brunswick, BC High, and Kent to fight it out for that last qualifying spot. But right now, it looks like it's BC High holding that qualifying spot, folks. Deerfield adjusting their point in the lane. Great line from the Duxbury coxswain here without an outside buoy lane. Just frozen rope there. Good job. And that Duxbury boat's now making a push on the Deerfield boat. It is Deerfield, Duxbury, and BC High holding down those qualifying spots, but you have Brunswick and Kent right on the heels of the BC High boys. What a race. Oh, my goodness. But we'll throw it down to Will for the last 500 here. Take it away.
They stay composed and hang in there with that crew. It's one thing to be first to the 1,000-meter mark. It's another thing to be first across the finish line. And especially when you have crews in that first and sixth lane leading the pack, it can be a hard thing for coxswains to manage. They obviously have to stay focused on steering their course straight down between the buoys. And then they also have to be responsible for letting their crews know where their opponents are, as many as 50, 60 meters to the side of them. And they have to let their boys know so that the boys aren't throwing their heads out of bow or out of the boat, upsetting the balance. As we come in towards that last 250, it's Deerfield in lane 1, BC High in lane 3, and Duxbury in lane 6 in contention for those top 3 spots. All 3 crews looking composed here as they start to wind it up, coming into the last 250. This race is by no means decided, but Deerfield, BC High, and Duxbury all seem to be comfortably in position for those top 3 spots. Deerfield easing out just a couple of seats over Duxbury's bow. Duxbury with 1 seat over BC High. Drawing up even as that angle comes totally perpendicular, we can see BC High has a couple of seats on Duxbury. It's going to be Deerfield with about 5 seats over BC High, with about 2 seats over Duxbury, with about 2 seats of open over lane 4, lane 4 indeed, which is St. John's. Deerfield is across the line, followed by BC High and Duxbury will be advancing. Kent, Hingham, and Brunswick now coming across the lines respectively. What a race out of that Duxbury crew there in lane 6 with a fantastic effort to push themselves on into this afternoon's final. Really, really great racing here out in Worcester. It's only in the mid 60s, but as that sun heats up, especially in those warmer colored shells, the little bit of breeze is doing a little bit to relieve the boys, but it's going to be imperative that as they get off the water, they find shade and get recovered for this afternoon's racing. A beautiful day here on Quinsigamond for the NERAs of 2024. We'll head back to the start line for the girls' third eights with Kent, Exeter, Andover, Hingham, Bedford, and Glastonbury in the first heat.
The A final.